Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Kal Alamba, Yehovah Shem Yahshua, B'Shem Harakah Kodash, and the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, to do well and teach well. Today, I want to go into this idea, Galatians 3 and 28, and just kind of go into a little bit of a breakdown over it. I just read an article that tried to say, let's just read the scripture first. Galatians 3:28. There's neither Jew nor Greek, there's neither bond nor free, there's neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Yahushua Mashiach. Right, and I just looked it up. Maybe I'll see if I can find it, but pretty much I just looked up gender roles in the scriptures, because gender roles in the scriptures, it's biblical, right? We do have gender roles, right? A woman, I'm just gonna get that one. Women's supposed to be chaste, keepers at home, discreet, right? And men, it's our job to be the ones that have the order and teach the woman, right? Remember, Sarah called Abraham Lord. Okay, there's a clear difference in hierarchy there, right? It's the man and his wife, and then the little children. Okay, and that's just the way that the Most High had it set up, right? Going all the way back to the garden, that was the way it was just meant to be. All right. Let's see if I can. So, in the Bible's description of gender roles, right? Just look up gender roles in the Bible, and cultural concepts of writing, and evolving theological interpretations, which that just shows you how off this devil is. Ain't nothing evolves, man. The breakdown of the scriptures, right? The breakdown of the scriptures is no private interpretation, right? It doesn't change. It doesn't work that way. Okay, the breakdown of the scriptures is the breakdown of the scriptures. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it's always been, pretty much. That's just the way it is. All right, you can't, change. It doesn't work that way, right? The Most High, the Lord changes not, roughly paraphrasing, right? Nothing changes, right? The Most High said, right, he's going to save, it's about, Israel, man. He's going to take Israel and set them in their own land, right? He didn't say the other nations are going to, get saved as well and blah, 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 right? And that they're going to be, equal to us in the kingdom, right? No, right? Grab the nobles and put them in fetters of iron, right? They shall take them captive, who captives they were, right? I'm thinking more of Isaiah 14. The other one was Psalm 149. Those are the ones I go to. You got like Isaiah 60, right? Was they shall select the best of kings, right? Not no gay shit, just meaning that we're gonna take their resources, all right, and put these nations in subjection. Okay, and Revelation 20, all that stuff, but you gotta get the order right with that. Like the first 4 verses, like going to, like there's an order to it. Like it goes into like the kingdom first, and then it jumps backwards in time to how our people got taken down. If I'm correct, yeah, and then it just jumps back in time. It moves around pretty much when you go into that one. Oh, come on, man. Alright, yeah. So, husband as head. Ephesians 5, Paul instructs wives to submit to the husbands, with the husband as the head, similarly to Yahushua's headship over the church. This is just a hierarchical structure with the husband in leadership position. I think in this one, he also goes into, the woman should have their head covered. The man should have his head uncovered. Right, so keep the top of your head uncovered, right? Pretty much. Or when you're prophesying, in sacrificial love, wife as helper, helpmeet, right? Look at this, right? This verse suggests there is neither male nor female, suggesting a more egalitarian view of gender roles and salvation in the church, right? Which, right, of course, when it comes to salvation, the Most High is going to save men and he's going to save women, right? There's women who believe, there's Was men who believe, there's women who believe, right? We're not like gatekeeping the truth to no woman, right? We just say that women stay at home because women have roles, right? And they should be subject to their husbands, right? They shouldn't be around trying to teach. When that happens, what happens? Adultery, okay? Rampant adultery goes out, okay? So women should stay at home and take care of their husbands, take care of their children, be discreet, be chaste, and keep us at home, all right? And then you have evolving theology, which all that madness the church be doing. The Catholic Church is heavy on that. The Pope and these different decrees and things like that. And the idea that the Pope is infallible when speaking on matters of the church. Okay? That he can just change stuff and say whatever he wants. That's madness. Madness. Alright? We teach the 100% of the truth, man. We have 100% of the truth, 100% of what we're supposed to know right now, right? We go into things like, according to the scriptures, a person who like men, we're supposed to put them to death. However, we are in a land of our captivity, and if we put anybody to death right now, we're gonna go to prison, right, for a long time, and we can't do that, all right? So we move subtly, we move in a wise type of way, pretty much, all right? All right, so this is the book, Titus chapter 2 verse 3. The aged woman likewise they be in behavior as become a holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teaches of good things, right? Because women and alcohol, they can get drunk faster, pretty much. They have a lower body weight and things like that. Well, they're supposed to have a lower body weight, but they're the weaker vessel. They get drunk, faster, pretty much, right? That they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, right? And because the curses, man, the aged women are teaching their children that, right? The aged women are partying just as much as the younger woman, right? Reveling just as much as the younger woman. The aged woman is basically a kid, in like a wicked ass, child, or in a big ass grown old nigga fat bitch body, pretty much, right? And that's the way they act. They smoke weed and they party and do all this madness, and they never grew out of it. And then they teach their kids. Their kids see that shit and they do the same thing, right? Teaching that their father ain't shit, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's very common in our communities, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American communities. So your dad ain't shit, and especially in the so-called Black community. You know what I mean? Say, hey, father ain't shit, and then they grow up and say, yeah, man ain't shit, and they just sleep with a bunch of dudes just so they can get their nails done, and they don't work a job, or they get a job but they can't keep a job because they're always fucking late. So, or they do get a job and they just be demons over there, ask them to do one thing and they fucking bug out, or someone talks to them in a way that they don't like, they lose their fucking mind instead of politely and professionally, handling that. They ain't got no professionalism. It's a woman, and this is the way our society is. To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, be good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed, right? Blasphemed, reproachfully, reviled, calumniated, blasphemed, evil spoken of, vilified, defamed, right? Because gender roles in the scriptures are normal, okay? Well, gender roles in the scriptures are what's biblical. It's just there, man. It's just a natural course of things, right? And it's just there. Pretty much, woman is meant to, follow a man. Woman will be into whatever you're into, pretty much. So that's just their role, to be, followers. And that's just the way it is. And just nowadays, right? Because Most High put a perverse spirit in this land, right? And going back to all the woman worship that went back around in like Ephesus and things like that, with the temple of Artemis, that Apostle Paul, he was pretty much teaching, speaking out, it messed up the whole local economy, right? And I think they wanted to kill him. When you go into Acts 19th chapter, right? It's the same thing that goes on here, woman worship, women are given power in the society, right? Women have compassed a man, right? So I'm gonna let that be that. The one that I show on.